Now at 5, as a group renews an effort to save Joplin's historic Union Depot, we look at why. Plus,
Ukrainian forces in Mariupol may be making a last stand against Russian invaders. I'm Michael George with the effort to save civilians caught in the crossfire.
And a new treatment to help young moms struggling with depression.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Following a draft opinion that indicated the Supreme Court would overturn Roe v. Wade, advocacy groups on both sides have voiced their reactions. This is KOAM News at 5. KOAM's Bronte Sorotsky is live at a Joplin rally to protect abortion access in Missouri and has more.
Dow, following the draft that indicated the Supreme Court could overturn Roe v. Wade, people on both sides are speaking out. And we're here at 5th and Main, and protesters are just starting to line up and rally for what they call reproductive freedom in Missouri. And if Roe v. Wade were to be overturned, states would be free to decide their own abortion laws. In Missouri, lawmakers have legislation to trigger an abortion ban with a Supreme Court ruling. Currently, there's only one abortion clinic in Missouri. That's in St. Louis. Missouri also requires a mandatory 72-hour waiting period between the consultation and abortion procedure. Currently, the leaked opinion is still just a draft, and abortion is still legal in Missouri. But if Roe v. Wade were to be overturned, abortion would be overturned after only 8 weeks, including instances of incest and rape, and the only exception would be if the pregnancy puts the person's life at risk. Reporting live in Joplin, I'm Bronte Sorotsky, KOAM News.
Bronte, thanks. The U.S. Senate is preparing to vote next week on a bill that would make abortion rights legal nationwide. Democrats concede that the bill has no chance to pass, but they say they want every senator on the record as to where they stand. Republicans say the rights should be decided on a state-by-state basis. Checking in with Doug Heddy now for our first look at the weather.
Well, at least we are starting to dry out a little bit outside after all the rain that we have seen all week long. Still kind of chilly for us, and we still have a lot of clouds across the region. The clouds are going to stick around this evening, but we are going to stay dry. So that is good news, and this whole storm system is slowly heading away from us. Temperatures, they're not bad. A little chilly for the beginning of May. Most of us are sitting into the mid to upper 60s. A little bit warmer once you get into our western counties. Through the evening hours, we slip back through the 60s into the 50s. Near 50 for an overnight low tonight. We are going to get some patchy fog building in. This is due to all that moisture that is sitting on the ground, but sunshine returns for us over the weekend, so we're going to look at that. It's Mother's Day weekend as well here in just a bit.
See you then. Some area roads could still be underwater from the heavy rains the past few days. You can check the latest road conditions in your area through our website. That's KOAMnewsnow.com and with the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. We're seeing some of the damage caused by a tornado that tore through parts of Kansas last week. The Andover School District released this video. It shows what happened at the Prairie Creek Elementary after the EF3 tornado struck the school. No students were inside at the time. Because of the damage, the building won't be used for the rest of the school year. The future of the Joplin Union Depot is looking brighter following an announcement by the Downtown Joplin Alliance on Wednesday. There's been a number of ideas for the depot over the years, which has sat empty since 1969. However, none of those ideas ever came to be, leaving the depot sitting and decaying. We spoke with Jill Sullivan about what makes the depot worth saving even after 53 years.
It's all part of the building of our community, and I think that often people will look at preservation and might think that it's just about the buildings and the materials, but it's really about the people and the stories and the community.
We're going to have more on the history of this downtown icon tonight at 6. In recognition of National Nurses Week, Freeman leaders made pancakes to show their appreciation for all the hard work their nurses do every day. Nurses Week celebration events include a decoration contest, barbecue treats, recognitions, raffles, and giveaways.
I thought about the nurses that I worked with and worked alongside, and the words that came to mind when I thought of them. So I hope that they appreciate it.
Heather Workman won the T-shirt design contest. Her shirt was displayed today at the Pancake Feed and is for sale through the month of May. First Lady Jill Biden is on a 4-day visit to Eastern Europe to meet with military personnel and Ukrainian civilians displaced by the ongoing Russian invasion. Ukraine says Russia is now stepping up attacks on a steel plant in Ukraine's strategic port city to score a key victory. Michael George reports from the United Nations.
Russian forces unleashed a fresh barrage of attacks on Mariupol's last pocket of resistance by ground and air. This video shows smoke billowing from the site of the steel plant, where Ukrainian fighters refuse to give up, and civilians remain trapped.
This is terrorism and hatred.
Speaking to British policy experts, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says the Russian onslaught is keeping critical aid from reaching people in the southern port city.
If they destroy them, I don't think we can have any diplomatic talks with them after that.
Intelligence officials believe Russian President Vladimir Putin is trying to conquer Mariupol to claim victory when Russia celebrates the defeat of Nazi Germany on May 9th. The UN says after negotiating with Russia and Ukraine, they've evacuated nearly 500 civilians from Mariupol. Another operation is underway to evacuate even more.
When our teams met these civilians, they were obviously devastated. They've not seen the sky for over 2 months.
First Lady Jill Biden met with U.S. troops along the Slovakia-Ukraine border Friday and will spend time with Ukrainian refugees in the region on Mother's Day. On Sunday, President Biden will meet virtually with Ukraine's president and G7 leaders to discuss a unified response to Russia's continued aggression. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Meanwhile, the U.S. has confirmed it shared intelligence with Ukraine about the location of the Russian warship that Ukraine sank last month, but had no role in the decision to strike it. Next, one young mother's battle with depression.
Could bright light therapy help with depression? I'm Michael George with one mother's experience with this new treatment.
And why the Missouri Capitol Dome is lit up in green. Those stories next in Healthwatch. Topping today's Healthwatch, the dome of the Missouri Capitol was lit in green overnight and into this morning in recognition of Children's Mental Health Week. Last week, Governor Mike Parson proclaimed May of 2022 as Mental Health Awareness Month in Missouri. Approximately 1 in 6 children and youth have a diagnosable mental illness, and 50% of those with lifetime mental health challenges first experience symptoms by age 14. This Mother's Day, a New York mom is raising awareness for perinatal depression, which can occur during pregnancy or in the weeks and months after childbirth. Now, a new alternative treatment may offer help for some struggling moms. Michael George spoke to a mother about her experience with bright light therapy.
Want to look at the ocean?
Chloe Alvarado just celebrated her son Milo's first birthday.
He's just a cute, happy boy. Nothing. I couldn't have asked for anything more.
But her journey to motherhood was anything but easy. She experienced 2 miscarriages, and when she got pregnant with Milo, she was diagnosed with perinatal depression.
I can't sleep, and I can't eat, and I can't brush my teeth, and I can't take a shower.
She took part in a clinical trial at Northwell Health, testing a treatment called bright light therapy. For 30 minutes every morning, Chloe exposed herself to this light, nicknamed Sun in a Box, to help reset her circadian rhythm.
That sleep and wake cycle is disrupted in women who are depressed in pregnancy, and it's by retraining, resetting the clock to where it should be, that it is to relieve the symptoms of depression.
Dr. Christina Delagenita says having a variety of treatment options for perinatal depression is critical.
Some women, they may want to engage in individual or group talk therapies. Other women may choose antidepressants. We want to provide also non-invasive treatments.
You noticed a difference.
I noticed a huge difference. It really gets you to wake up. It's like going outside and going for a walk because you're shocked by the sunlight.
Combined with antidepressants and traditional therapy, Chloe says the difference was night and day.
I can't even recognize the person I was when I was pregnant.
She says better sleep helped her function better, so she could focus on her mental health and on being a mom. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
4 hospitals are conducting the light therapy study, and the National Institutes of Health is sponsoring the trial. More people in the U.S. are dying from complications linked to alcohol abuse. A new study in the medical journal JAMA finds alcohol-related deaths skyrocketed 22% last year. The biggest increase was among people 25 to 44 years old, with a jump of nearly 34%. Numbers could actually be even higher since researchers were limited to information provided on death certificates. Researchers say the pandemic is likely behind the rise in alcohol-related deaths, with the number of people dying because of drinking jumping nearly 25% in 2020. Ever wonder what the best position to sleep in is? Well, at least 2 doctors with the Mayo Clinic say side sleepers might be at advantage. They say this position can help stop airways from collapsing and reduce snoring, and it's even recommended for pregnant women. The doctors add sleeping on your back is the worst if you have sleep apnea, and sleeping on your stomach, that can cause spine and neck strain. The Sleep Foundation says sleeping on your side can help with neck and back pain. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, the latest on the job market and what we should expect in the coming months.
Plus, now that we get a chance to dry out, our temperatures are really going to heat up. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, of course, we're getting a chance slowly to start to dry out over the next few days, but still a lot of water out there, and we got quite a bit of rain once again, especially thunderstorms moved in after midnight last night. We picked up another 1.6 inches of rain for us today. This puts us pressing 8 inches for the month of May. It's May 6th, so we've had almost 8 inches of rain at the Joplin Airport in 6 days, which is crazy. Over 21 inches for the year. Average is 13, so we're above average by 7.5 inches so far in 2022. We still have the flood warnings in effect. Of course, we still have a lot of rising water, so be careful, especially as it gets dark outside. You can't see that standing water. And look at our rainfall amounts over the past 3 days, where you see this purple stripe, Jasper County into Dade County. That is 10 inches plus of rain, and then most of this is 4 to 8 inches. Even the lower end, everybody picked up at least 3 or 4 inches of rain over the past few days. Here is Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. It looks pretty good. We do have the clouds outside. These clouds will start to break up a little bit as we go through the evening hours, but not a bad evening. It's Friday evening. We're sitting into the mid-60s, near 70 once you get across southeastern Kansas. 7th and Rangeline looks okay. Currently sitting at 65, northerly winds 5 to 10, humidity is at 73%. Through the evening hours, if you guys are doing anything outside, we are going to stay dry, which is good. We'll drop back through the 60s, 50s, near 50 later on tonight. We are going to see some patchy fog, so watch out for that, especially in the low-lying areas a little bit later on tonight. A lot of clouds breaking up a bit in our western counties, but a lot of clouds. This storm system slowly moving away from us, and if we look out toward the west, not a whole bunch going on. This is going to give us at least pretty quiet activity as we go through the next few days. In fact, this storm system that gave us all this rain is actually going to help us out. You can see by Monday it moves off the eastern coast, and then it kind of retrogrades back to the west across the eastern third of the country. What this does in return is it blocks up the pattern. And if the pattern is blocked up, we can't get any storms in here. We don't want storms in here this time of the year because it's May and we have such a high severe threat, but this blocks up the pattern. This gives us a week in the month of May of pretty good conditions. Let's go hour by hour through the overnight hours. Again, patchy fog for us tonight, so watch out for that. We drop back near 50. Tomorrow looks great. If you want to get outside, try to do some yard work if it's not too wet. 70 by noon. High temp of 75. Easterly winds at about 5 to 10. Partly cloudy tomorrow evening, so tomorrow evening looks fine if you have any outdoor activities. As we go into Sunday, which is Mother's Day, we start near 60. We'll be well into the 70s by noon. If you have outdoor Mother's Day plans, it looks fine, but it heats up. We go into the mid-80s for highs by the time we head into Sunday afternoon. In fact, 88 by Monday. Tuesday, 89, near 90, all of next week, but I really don't see any thunderstorm chances or at least good ones, for about a week. So we get that chance to dry out, which we need, but by the time we dry out, we're probably going to need rain again by then.
I suppose.
So.
And you know, mid-80s, that'll be warm for Mother's Day, but it certainly beats rain if you're planning a picnic or some other.
It does. I mean, great weekend to get outdoors.
Thanks, Doug. Hey, here's a look at our tower camera, sponsored by R.E. Smith Construction, as work continues on that KOAM More Power project. New transmitter, more power. Check it out anytime on our website, koamnewsnow.com/power. Coming up, our nation's latest jobs report. First, though, we recognize a local veteran. Raymond Flanner served with the U.S. Army from 1940 to 1945. He was stationed in Europe with a reconnaissance unit. His hometown, Fort Scott, Kansas. And we are proud to salute Raymond Flanner, a four-state hero. Watch, the job market remains strong, very strong, but there is uncertainty over how much longer that's going to last. Bradley Blackburn reports.
Businesses continue to hire at a rapid rate. The leisure and hospitality industry welcomed 78,000 jobs last month, and manufacturing brought on 55,000 workers. Overall, the economy added 428,000 jobs in April. That's the 12th straight month of at least 400,000. The unemployment rate stayed at 3.6%, and plenty of positions are available. The latest data shows 11.5 million job openings in the U.S. From court reporters in Vermont,
there's a lot of reporters reaching retirement age and not so many entering the field,
to nurses in Wisconsin.
It's safe to say that every healthcare organization right now is experiencing, a tight labor market.
And there are questions about how long this strong labor market will last as employers continue to contend with inflation. The Federal Reserve is trying to slow rising prices by increasing interest rates.
And that hasn't happened in quite some time.
CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger says that's making Wall Street nervous about the health of the overall economy.
How much uncertainty is there right now?
I think there's huge uncertainty. The Fed is raising interest rates. We know that there is a real supply chain issue that persists. And as this all shuffles out, there's a real fear that we could head into a recession.
Schlesinger expects the rate of job hiring to slow down in the coming months. But with so many factors at play, it's not clear how much. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
The Labor Department says the number of Americans collecting state unemployment checks is the lowest in more than 50 years. Ms. Pac-Man is a Hall of Famer. The iconic female dot eater joins Dance Dance Revolution, The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, and Civilization as this year's inductees to the World Video Game Hall of Fame. Winners are recognized for their popularity and influence over time. Final check of the forecast up next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, this series, The Modern Mom, how one Army mom is fighting for her daughter and helping others along the way. Then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to check back in live with Bronte Sorotsky at the scene of a Joplin protest concerning abortion rights. Plus, Chris Warner explores the history of Joplin's historic Union Depot, including past efforts to save it. And Missouri taxpayers are a step closer to getting a several $100 refund from the state. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Hey, a reminder to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports. Download the KOAM News app. It's available absolutely free of charge. You'll find it in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. All you have to do is search for KOAM News app. Might as well do it right now. If you're making some outdoor plans for Mother's Day, looks like you should be able to keep them. The weather should be warm, but otherwise nice.
Yeah, it looks pretty good as we go into the weekend. Mid-70s tomorrow. We definitely get a dry out, partly sunny skies as well on Mother's Day. But look at our temp, 84. So once you get above about 85, you can kind of consider it teetering on hot. Upper 80s to near 90 most of next week. Mainly dry, which is a little atypical for the month of May, but we need it.
Yeah, indeed. It won't be that way for long, you can bet. Thanks for joining us. CBS Evening News is next. Of course, we'll be right back here at 6. Let's make it a great evening.